Hello everybody, it's Shelby Townsend again. Welcome back to my Godzilla movie review series. And yeah, we're pretty much almost done with the Showa era. We're in the last movie. But I have something to talk about here. So, we just went through a lot of Godzilla movies with a different, there's like a first half and a second half that lets the era down. For this Showa era, we went with several movies with Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra and Ghidorah. And this really makes it to a whole continuous narrative. All this started with solo films involving Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra. And then we have one amazing crossover where they all come in together in one movie to fight one big bad monster. And then after that, you have a sequel about a new beginning taking place in a year where they go travel up to space. And then after that whole continuous narrative, you have a second half with a bunch of random movies that are basically a little borderline to the series. Starting here with one random movie that's supposed to be a King Kong movie, but it was replaced with Godzilla, and it's also an island adventure movie, and it wouldn't stay true to the other movies. And then after that movie comes another island adventure movie, this time with the stupid little baby Godzilla. And then after those two island adventure movies, this leaves us with one crossover that's supposed to conclude the series with a lot of monsters and where King Ghidorah is finally down, taking place in the future. And then after all those movies, that leaves us with a bunch of prequels or non-canon movies to destroy all monsters. Starting here with one random mean-spirited movie about a boy who dreams of visiting Monster Island and seeing the monster fights and then ends up becoming friends with the bully while being bullied or kidnapped by bank robbers. And after that non-canon garbage comes one random movie involving pollution. And then after that one comes one back to basics movie involving Gigan. And then after that comes one random movie involving Jet Jaguar. And then after all of that stuff in the Showa era, that leaves us with two films with a continuous narrative with Mechagodzilla. With Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, which was a movie involving a robot copy of Godzilla, which is interesting. But the last movie, my god, the last movie. What was supposed to be the movie that closes off this entire series? An era of Godzilla movies that went from an amazing storyline with four of Toho's most iconic kaiju stars back in the time, and then a second half with a bunch of random movies that are really borderline, closes off with Terror of Mechagodzilla, and it's the direct prequel to Destroy All Monsters. This is the last movie that takes place before Destroy All Monsters. And is this movie any good? After Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla succeeded at the box office, Toho wanted to just make another Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla movie. And, yeah, is this movie as much as the original one? I don't think so. Let's just get started. Mechagodzilla, or Mechagodzilla 2, and Titanosaurus, led by observing scientist Dr. Mifune and his cyborg daughter Katsura, who teams up with the aliens after they save her life, complicating with things as biologist Akira Ichinose falls for her, leading to a tragic battle where Godzilla fights monsters, ultimately destroying Mechagodzilla with the help of supersonic waves, while Katsura commits suicide side, ending the alien in control. Yes, and then the human characters, they take Katsura to a beach weed place, and then Godzilla heads to the ocean, and they say goodbye to Godzilla or something, but they're really sad that Katsura is dead. And that's it! So we have some human characters of the movie. I do know some of their names, like you have Ichinose, the main character himself, and his friend, and you have Katsura, the cyborg woman, you have Dr. Mifune, the evil scientist, old scientist, and you have the other guy with the glasses, with the darker hair, I do not know his name, and you have the rest of the characters, including the aliens, who I don't know their names. So, this movie, it has flaws. It has flaws. Some people really love this movie. They like it better than the last movie, but I am not one of those people. Like, this movie has some major flaws. One problem is that it's an unnecessary sequel to Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Okay, first of all, let me get into the good for this movie. Now, what I really love about this movie, I think this movie is pretty good to see Mechagodzilla come back, even though this is just an unnecessary sequel to the last movie, like I said. But yeah, the Godzilla and stuff, I think Godzilla is great in this film. I think it's great seeing him fight. And Mechagodzilla, yeah, and that stuff. The monster fights are okay. I like seeing the slow lumbering and stuff. I love seeing Godzilla fighting Titanosaurus. That was an amazing battle. Like, this fight right here is just so much better. And I really love the part where Godzilla and Titanosaurus were boxing. Like Godzilla giving him punches. That's just so amazing. It's just like the part where Godzilla was fighting Gigan in Godzilla vs. Gigan. It's just really fun and just so enjoyable. The music by Akira Ifukube, it's just so amazing. Like, it's great to have Akira Ifukube physically back scoring a Godzilla movie. This music is so amazing, so creative, like, and so phenomenal. Very emotional. I love the music in this movie. And it's great to bring back the iconic music of Godzilla and the scary moments and stuff. It is really good. And yeah, I think this movie is still a little bit really solid. But yeah, but let me get to the bad for this movie. Now, one problem is that it's an unnecessary sequel to Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, like I said. And really, I think it just really doesn't really work so much. It's just not a really good movie. It is just not as much as the previous film, because it has way more major flaws that really ruin the movie than in the last movie. The characters in this film, the characters are okay. The acting is okay. And yeah, the acting is okay. It is pretty good at times. I think it's really good having a tragic character in here. Like everything. Like Katsura. Yeah, she's not really a good character. But for her being like the love interest, I wish she was one of the heroes. But she was alright. And Ichinose, the main character, he was alright, but he can't really do anything. He's supposed to be our main hero. But one part, it's like later in the final battle, he just gets kidnapped. Like the aliens just kidnap him. That is not fair. This is supposed to be our main hero. Why can't he really do anything? Yeah. The villains, on the other hand, this time they're actually not apes. And no, they're not the same aliens from the last movie. No, that must be some misconception. But the aliens in this movie, they're actually pretty dumb. Like, they don't really know anything about Mechagodzilla. All they can do is just use Katsura or anything. What? Come on! You guys are supposed to be wise, evil scientists. not some curious scientists who don't really know anything. Come on, you're sort of really nothing compared to the gorillas. Dr. Mifune, I gotta say about him, he's actually played by Akihiko Hirata with long white hair and a mustache and glasses. Now this is Akihiko Hirata's last role in the entire Godzilla franchise, as this movie was released just a few times before he sadly passed away. So yeah, rest in peace Akihiko Hirata. Yeah, it's a shame that this is his last movie. And any other flaws? Titanosaurus. Now, Titanosaurus in this movie, you know, for a direct sequel to the last movie, they should have probably had King Caesar back. They should have brought back the storyline with the King Caesar, which was still unnecessary storyline. Here, it's sort of really replaced with Titanosaurus storylines. What would have made this movie better is that the aliens, what if they would have kidnapped King Caesar, brought him back to life as a cyborg? Because this is supposed to be a tragic story about Titanosaurus. Are you kidding me? I don't know. Like, maybe they couldn't afford to bring him back, like what Dante Dotson said. But come on. Titanosaurus will probably be one of my least favorite monsters of the Godzilla franchise. Like, Titanosaurus, he's really random. He's so random. Like, what can you tell about him? He doesn't really seem like a threat or anything. I don't really think he's a threat. He doesn't really do anything else other than just using his fishtail or anything. He's like some giant sea monster. I think it's good seeing a giant sea monster. Like, King Ghidorah is a giant hydra, and he is a giant sea monster, and descendants of a Spinosaurus. But, seriously, the Titanosaurus is not good. Like, the costume, he just looks so goofy, and the long neck, and the giraffe head. The head looks so horrible. And everything. Like, this movie is, like, he's just so random. Why can't he can't even do anything in a fight. Like, when he's going to the city, he doesn't really do anything to the city. He just stands and walks slowly right there before he goes up closer to the building and destroys the building. Seriously. Like, seriously. Even when he's fighting in Godzilla at the nighttime scene, like, it's so horrible. Like, after Katsura suffers from something, Titanosaurus, he doesn't fight Godzilla. They just stand there and he walks away. You can't be serious, dude. Some of the writing in this movie is not really good. Like, there might be some bad writing. Like, seriously, Titanosaurus, he's just so weak. And seriously, he's supposed to be a tragic monster, and you should really feel sad that when he dies later on. But seriously, later on, the human characters are actually happy that Titanosaurus is dead, even though he's supposed to be a tragic monster. Like, seriously, this is supposed to be a tragic monster, you idiots. When you're using everything and stuff. Come on. Yeah, like, unlike Gigan, who actually retreated, well, Gigan did get killed by Zone Fighter in one Zone Fighter episode that I only seen clips of, but really, Gigan is probably just a villain there, but Titanosaurus is really tragic. Gigan does have a tragic backstory, but Titanosaurus may be worse. And the roar, oh my god, get it off my ears! The roar, this freaking elephant roar, doesn't sound like a roar at all. Like, seriously, it didn't sound like a roar at all. Maybe because he's supposed to be a sea monster. Like, seriously, I don't like Titanosaurus. He might be worse than King Caesar. Like, seriously. And Mechagodzilla may be really useless in this film. Yeah, probably. He just maybe stands there. I like him using all the weapons in this film. I don't like him in this movie as much as the last movie. He does actually probably have some cooler detail in this movie, but I don't know which version I prefer. But yeah. Now, another problem. This is the last movie of the Showa era. This is the last movie of the Showa era. Like, seriously. Look, some Godzilla movies were supposed to be the final Godzilla movie. There are some Godzilla movies that were, like, intended to be the last Godzilla movie around. But Terror of Mechagodzilla right here, it isn't by any means a bad movie. But it feels so underwhelming as a last movie to an era. In fact, some Godzilla movies from before already did feel like conclusive films to the series. Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, yeah, it's a movie involving Ghidorah, but it felt very conclusive to this continuous narrative, as you got all three Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra, where they fight one big bad kaiju. Although King Ghidorah just retreats, but I think it's just an emotional ending and Godzilla becoming good. It's just really good for anything. Destroy All Monsters, which was the first one intended to be the last Godzilla movie, still felt very conclusive as they finally took King Ghidorah down and Godzilla and his friends go to Monster Island and they live there forever and they say goodbye to the monsters. This movie does do a perfect job though. Godzilla vs. Gigan felt like a perfect ending to anything of the Godzilla franchise or anything. Yes, I know I might have a continuity problems with this film, but it's still a really nice story involving Gigan and all that stuff. Imagine this number of Godzilla movies would have put you through every single Godzilla movie that was made back in the time, and then ended with this phenomenal ending, happy ending, with the theme song playing over here as Godzilla and Anguirus walk away and they say goodbye, walk to the sunset, and everything. That would have been far more better. Yeah, sure, Godzilla vs. Megalon had a similar kind of ending, but it feels more like a conclusion to a series starring Jet Jaguar. So to conclude, Terror of Mechagodzilla unfortunately is a big letdown with comparing it to the last movie. It does have some good stuff here and there that really saved the movie for me. It's kind of really solid. I like seeing Mechagodzilla come back, seeing Godzilla fight Mechagodzilla again. But there are some things that really let the movie down for me. That Titanosaurus shouldn't be in this movie. It would have been less that bad if they would have got King Caesar right back here. And the acting is okay. It's not good. Some writing may be really bad. And the other big problem with this movie is that it's an unnecessary sequel to Mechagodzilla. But the music is really good. Godzilla in this movie, I forgot to mention, this is probably the Godzilla's best look on this costume. Like, this is the costume's best looking face. He made more angrier expressions. I like Godzilla in this movie, but overall, I like the Godzilla costume and Mechagodzilla and stuff, and the music, and some other things, but the Titanosaurus stuff and the other things just really let the movie down for me. So, I'm gonna say watch it at your own risk in this movie. At first, I did not like this movie. I was not expecting to like this movie. I was calling it a bad movie at first because of the Titanosaurus and everything, but now, as I look back at the movie, it's actually not that bad. But yeah, overall, this movie is pretty decent, and yeah, like I said, it's overwhelming as a last Godzilla movie, and yeah, so I'll watch it at your own risk, and Yeah, so that was Terror of Mechagodzilla. We made it through the Showa era, guys. We did it. I'm so happy. And I'm so excited. We're going to be reviewing the Heisei era next, starting with Return of Godzilla. So stay tuned for that movie review. And I just watched Return of Godzilla, and this is obviously a reboot Godzilla movie. And yeah. Thank you guys for watching this movie review. Remember, rate, subscribe, comment, give your thoughts in this movie, and stay tuned for my next Godzilla movie review. Give your thoughts in this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.